Hello and welcome, everyone.
Hello.
My name is Carmen Swanson, and I'm the president of IAATI. Thank you to Regula for partnering with us on this initiative. We really value the opportunity to run this as a joint training session for IATI members and the broader identity community. Today's session is the first masterclass in our IATI and Regula online series. The focus is practical, meaning how document fraud works in real cases and what investigators and analysts most often miss and what signals matter when verification has limited time and context. I hope this will be a practical and engaging session and that you'll walk away with something you can apply right away. Before we begin, a few housekeeping items. If there are any audio issues, please try dialing in using the numbers provided in your invitation. Also, feel free to submit your questions in the chat during our presentation. We'll answer them in Q&A session at the end, or our team will address them as we go. This webinar is being recorded, and we're sending out the link over the next few days. Okay, now my favorite part. Okay, here with us today are two people who bring very different but highly complementary perspectives. Wendell Takata represents IATI and brings decades of hands-on investigative experience in vehicle crime, document misuse, and real-world casework. His perspective reflects what investigators actually encounter in the field and how document fraud impacts real investigations. Andrei Dumski is principal forensic expert at Regula and has extensive experience in document examination, security features analysis, and forensic workflows. He will guide us through the technical and analytical side of how genuine documents are built and how forgeries are detected. Together, this combination allows us to look at documents from both sides, operational and forensic. Wendell and Andrei, I'll hand it over to you to start us off.
Hi, everyone. Carmen, thank you for the introduction. At times, the verification process is designed to be structured, layered, and is time-consuming. But in real life, decisions are often made under the time restraints due to investigations, work hours, and caseload. In the field, investigators have limited access to information, such as databases and investigative websites, to name a few. Fraudulent schemes aren't investigated properly because the security features are missing. This causes it to bypass some investigators because the checks are performed separately without the proper results. Today, we're not going to focus on how documents are designed, but focusing on where the verification breaks down in the workflow and how inconsistencies slip through. Next slide.
Yeah, and thank you very much, Wendell, for introduction. And let's proceed with the documents. And we need to answer the question of why does document fraud still pass? And when we speak about the documents, it's very crucial that we need to check all the layers of security elements which are integrated in the documents. That's why appearance is not, we need to compare the appearance of the document and the integrity of security elements and security features in the documents. The documents sometimes look structurally correct, but substrate behaviors as expected. The layout matches the issue and authority, and security features are present. But the issue is not the absence of control sometimes. The issue when we need to check every layer and to tie these layers between each other. Only in the relationship between these layers, we could identify that the documents is genuine or false. So just now, we are not going to focus on obvious counterfeits. We just now will focus on structurally convincing documents and the precise moment where verification fails. Based on your experience, please, if you don't mind, we will ask you about what's about your opinion, where you will the frauds often pass bypass controls. You will not have some right or wrong answers, only according to your experience, according to your position. Could you answer on this question?
So the most popular answer is that it is happening during manual document inspection.
So, okay. What we need to, how should we comment this? That, of course, it's very crucial sometimes to be able to check the document very thoroughly and very carefully during the manual document inspection, because during onboard, on remote onboarding, or during the automatic verification system, the mechanism, the devices will assist us in the document verification and the understanding how it's genuine or counterfeited. But in the case of manual control, we need to have the experience how to check the documents, and we need to have also some devices in our hand to check the integrity and to check the document. Let's go to the next slide. Thank you very much for your answers, but let's go to the cost of missed verification. It's very clear that if the document will pass the system, if the document will be recognized as a genuine, the impact will increase, the criminal impact of this decision will be not linear. It will be not longer linear, because in this case, the document could cause a lot of effects on in several spheres of life, in banks, in cross border checking, in the different other public spheres of life. That's why only one mistake during the stage of document verification will cause a lot of issues, it will cause a lot of troubles, and will destroy the security sometimes. Let's check, let's see on this slide, and we will see the two pictures of the data page of Australian passport. And on the left side, it will be see some discrepancies or inconsistencies between two documents, between two data pages. And on the left side, it's a genuine document. On the right side is a false document. But every data, as you can see, the name, surname, the date of issue, the date of birth, date of expiry of the documents are the same. But only one small discrepancy. Only one small discrepancy between two pictures. And sometimes it's very hard to find this information, and without machine assistance, without the automatic verification, it will not be able by human eyes to find this difference between two documents. And if you go to the machine readable zone, we will see that the fonts differ, and the space between digits and space markers are also different. And the most important is on the right bottom corner of machine readable zone, we will see the overall control digit, and they are totally different. 63 on the left and 84 on the right side of the passport. So that's why our conclusion about the document verification process, sometimes it's necessary to be assisted by the machines, to be assisted by the automatic verification devices. So we need to understand where is the traditional methods break. The security features, it's not the same like a genuine security feature. Sometimes we will find the security feature which are integrated in the data page, and it's not be a correct decision that this is enough. Sometimes the presence of security elements doesn't mean that this is the real original security feature. We and you, of course, sure faced a lot of times with the false OVI or imitation of optical variable inks, a lot of holograms. its hologram is very common security feature which is applied to ID documents, to vehicle documents, to a lot of documents just now using the, for example, holograms. But it's very hard sometimes to understand where is the false and where is the original document hologram, because it's very easy just now on the free market to buy this hologram. If you go to the black market, you will find a lot of offers, and the criminals will produce according to your desire, according to your order, a very nice sometimes type of hologram, and you will apply this hologram to the your counterfeit document, and it will look like original. Sometimes it looks like much better than original. The second layer or second issue, we need to also to understand and to check not the data which is included in barcode or machine readable zone, but sometimes you need to check the information and to do the cross verification between different sources of data, between barcode and machine readable zone, between biometric chip. But we will focus on this issue a bit later on. And also we need also to understand and to check very thoroughly the visual similarity between security features. Sometimes will not allow you to make a right decision about the overall genuinity of the documents. So we need to go structurally. We need to go layer by layer between different security features, a different group of security features, and to evaluate them in connection each to another one. Let's understand how should be organized the verification workflow between these layers, and we allow us to create a small, like a road of the document verification process. And to our opinion, we need to start from the very beginning, from the structure, from the substrate, from the printing techniques which apply to the ID document or any other security document. And during this stage, we need to evaluate the paper, sometimes plastic, sometimes another substrate, which was used for document production. We need to evaluate the printing technique which were applied for the document production. On the next stage, on the second one, we need to also to examine the security features, and we need to understand where the security features should be integrated in the substrates on the first layer, second layer, between the polycarbonate sometimes layers, or it should be implemented in the paper structure substrate, as you know, security fibers or security threads. And also very important also to know how to this document should react to the different light sources like UV light, infrared, and other types of forensic examination light sources. And the next stage is examination of the personal data inside the document. We need to understand and to check the data. We need to understand how this data was integrated in the blank of the document. And on the last stage, we need to go through all these data to combine them and to check in different, as I told you, between different sources of data logic. So we need to check the information from barcode, from the multi-laser image, sometimes from machine readable zone, of course from biometric chip if it's also there, or from visual zone from the document. And only after going through all these layers, don't missing one or two layers from the full way, we will have the ability to understand is the document genuine or false. That's why criminals are using our missing of these stages. Sometimes, according to this slide, you will see maybe we put a lot of attention to the substrate, maybe a lot of to security elements, but we will not check a lot of cross verification of the data. In this case, of course, the criminals will use the last stage, and it will be the most dangerous leg of our verification process. Of course, we need to say some words about the classification of the modern fraud types of the documents. We just now using in our presentation, in our webinar, the international approach, and we agree with the Interpol International Organization, and we also cooperate with this organization a lot and provide a lot of joint activities in the world. And according to these definitions, we could say that the counterfeit documents is a document which was reproduced from the scratches. The second one, when we see some elements in the document which was altered, one or two, three, some security elements. And the second one, the last one is pseudo documents. Documents which are not officially recognized, but they looks like original documents. We faced a lot of, and a lot of cases when we will find the old authority passport, for example. It was very popular maybe 10 years ago. A lot of people buying this passport on the internet and try to travel using this passport. Also, the passport of Texas, the passport of Eastern Samoa, for example. It's not just a country, but they're using the sometimes Zanzibar or something like this one. And these cases belongs to this last classification, like a pseudo documents. Counterfeits, as I told, it's the documents which were duplicated or replicated from scratches. The criminals try to imitate all the four layers. As I told you, it's they try to imitate the substrate, they try to imitate the security features. Also, they apply the personal data inside the document and trying to align all the information inside this document according to their personal data of the person who holds these documents. This type of counterfeiting of forging or altering the documents is sometimes it's very dangerous when the criminals invest a lot of money in the buying of some machines and equipment for duplication and of these documents. But sometimes it helps us a lot, because if you find this type of the document, you will be able to recognize the same counterfeits in the other cases, because it will be very hard for them to change the technology, to change the printing techniques, to change some mistakes which were applied in this document, because they invest a lot of money. That's why they will not produce only one ID card or only one passport. They will do maybe a batch of 120, 107, 300 documents. In this case, if you will detect one and you will have the connection with other law enforcement agencies or other entities, you will share this information about these detained counterfeits. It will be much easier to find the same counterfeits in other cases. The second type of altering the documents is a forgery. When you have a real document, but with real security features, with the correct, sometimes material substrate, and the criminals will apply only small changes in this document, and they change mostly the personal data of the documents, of the hold of the documents. They try to change the portrait. Sometimes they will try to change the date of expire or another information. That's why it will be much easier sometimes to find this forgery, but it will be like an individual individual forgery, and every case will be different from the other case, and it will not be detected sometimes easily, and we need to have some devices and equipment to detect and to find this discrepancy in the list of original security features and materials which were found in this document. That's why in the second option, like a forgery, you need to be very attentive and to go through these 4 structural layers which were described in the previous slides. Because if you skip one or second layer or third layer, you will not be able to understand, and we will not be able to understand where is the genuine document or it's a forgery. Also, we will not speak about the pseudo documents, like if the second name is a fantasy documents, but also we need to attract your attention to the technical manipulation. Sometimes the criminals try to change the data inside the documents. In this case, we need to be very suspicious and not believe to every data inside the documents, because another option, not option, but another issue when the issuing authority sometimes make mistakes during the personalization stage or during the document production process. In this case, it will be very hard sometimes to understand was this document changed by the criminals or this document was issued from the factory, from the printing house, for example, with some mistakes. We face also a lot of such cases when you find for example, I will not tell about the exact country, but 7 years ago, we found a lot of visa, and these visa were produced with the printed security fibers on the surface. It looked like a fake document, but it was original visa, blank. Also, sometimes visa and documents are printed in different places, and they're using different inks with the different behavior on the forensic light sources. In this case, it's like some mistakes or inappropriate behavior of the factory or printing house or the officers from the consulate or from the other authority. And in this case, we need to understand is a real person with real identity or it's a fake document with the forged document in his hand. So let's go to the second poll. We will also ask you the second question. It will be nice that you will be able to show your opinion and to share with us. If you have, for example, 20 seconds, what will be the first security feature, or what will be the first information or object which will be checked by you? Please take your time and answer the questions. Unfortunately, I can't see the tables with answers, and I hope Wendell will comment this one. Or me.
Okay. So the biggest,
Mhm.
the biggest or the most response was visible security features. And yeah, when you receive something in your hands, that's the first thing you're gonna look at. What you can detect visibly before you start
Mhm.
using other means.
Of course, sure. I will do the same. As for me, because visible security features are reliable, but of course we will understand that the document is genuine without any devices, because to take out the device and to check the device using the device, the document checking by the device, it will take more time than 20 seconds. Only in simple cases, we will use the magnifier, and this magnifier will assist us to check the security features which are mostly visible under the naked eye, or visible under the magnification. Of course, sure. Let's move from the model or the practical behavior to a practical example. In these cases, we will see how the documents will be verified. On the slide, we can see the data page from Lithuanian passports and the design of 2003. And on the white light, we can see the same behavior of the specimen on the left side and the forged or maybe counterfeit documents on the right side. You can see that on the machine readable zone is printed approximately the same fonts, and we will see the OVI also is present here in the right upper corner. It's like a green mark. Also, we can see that the blank is printed by the same inks with the hologram visible on the left side, but not slightly visible on the right data page. But let's check this document under the ultraviolet light. And in this case, we will see some discrepancies between the specimen and the examined object, the examined passport. The UV luminescence is more bright on the right side, and the color is also a bit different. Deep green on the left and light green on the right side. And that's why we could understand that something was done with the layers. But the security element is nearly the same. But if you look more thoroughly on the portrait area, we will see the net or the image with ultraviolet luminescence is visible on the whole portrait area. But on the right side, we could see that we will see some gaps and breaks in the UV picture. Is it visible to my mind? And it was done because the real document was splitted, the data page was splitted, and the criminals saved all security elements, all security features in the real document, in the real blank, but they splitted the data page and then removed the original picture of the whole of the document and then printed there a new picture. That's why in this case the UV luminescence was destroyed, this area, and the whole page just now reflecting in light blue light, its color. It means that the glue is reflecting to UV light source. But under white light, it wasn't visible. Let's go to the magnification to be sure that we make a right conclusion. And under magnification of 40 times, just now we will see the difference in printing technique which were applied to the portrait area. On the slide before, we just detected that something was wrong with the portrait, and in this case, we will see on the left side, the laser engraving printing technique was applied to the document, and on the right side, we will see very easy some separate dots, color dots, and this means that was inkjet printer was applied to imitate the portrait of the holder. Also, let's check the microtext using our magnification of 40 times. And on the left side, we will see that the microtext is visible. It's very nice, sharply defined and precisely aligned. But on the forged document, it's just microtext is imitated using an inkjet printer. And it appears blued, uneven, and slightly displaced according to the original design. What could we say about the light sources, about the about the technique how to check? Of course, we need to use different light sources. And for this purpose, we are using different devices, from the simple magnifier with the magnification of 10 times. And we are going to use sometimes we need to use the video spectral comparators, like pictures were taken before in slides by using the video spectral comparator in different light sources, different directions, and different magnification. We need to make a short conclusion on the first part of our presentation, that sometimes all security features could be present, but we need to be very accurate and to check all the layers, all security layers in the document, and to check how they connected one to another one, and to make a conclusion about the authenticity of the document. The same principle does not apply only to identity documents. It also applies to any objects that carries an identity, including vehicles. And this is where the operational reality becomes even more complex. I hope Wendell will now show us how this structural approach could be applied in the vehicle crime cases, and how identity inconsistencies move across jurisdictions and systems, sometimes in the vehicle crime cases and in this new field of document examination. Wendell, will you share with us your comments on this issue?
Okay, thank you, Andrei. What you have seen
Yeah, well,
in identity documents is not limited to passports or personal IDs. The same discrepancies appear in vehicle-related documents, such as vehicle registration, titles, and insurance documents. In many cases, the impact is even broader in vehicle crime investigations, as we're not dealing with a single document. We're dealing with paper documents that carries the vehicle's identity across multiple systems, jurisdictions, including being exported to foreign countries. A registration certificate may look correct, a VIN may follow the expected format, database records may confirm existence, but when we analyze ownership history, regional insurance patterns, and cross-border movement, inconsistencies begin to emerge. So let's look at how this plays out in the real vehicle crime cases. Next slide. In vehicle investigation, we encounter similar discrepancies. They show across a broader and more complex landscape. A registration certificate may appear legitimate at first, but when we begin comparing issuing patterns, regional coding logic, and the sequence of ownership over time, inconsistencies start to emerge. Individually, each element may appear correct, but together they may not follow the same pattern. What makes vehicle-related fraud challenging is its impact is rarely confined to a single jurisdiction, country, or state. Vehicles move across borders and get re-registered, exported, insured, resold, and entered into multiple systems that treat prior validations as trustworthy. By the time a discrepancy is detected, the vehicle has been entered, merged into several legitimate records, making correction more complex. For example, a VIN switch investigation revealed one suspect purchased over 300 vehicles from an insurance auto auction here and spent over $1 million making these purchases of various vehicles that were in different stages of disrepair. Either they were burnt totally inside and out or totaled beyond recognition. He purchased these vehicles because of the title mainly and the VIN numbers. He sold the engine, transmission, and various parts that had value, and sold the rest of the vehicle for scrap metal. What he sold this for was more than what he spent on making the purchase. He then stole an identical vehicle and replaced the VIN labels with the salvage VIN and registered it as the salvage vehicle several times between his relatives. The Department of Motor Vehicle doesn't have any investigators to verify if the vehicle is valid or not. He then sold them on Craigslist to innocent buyers. He specialized in Toyota vehicles mainly. During the investigation, over 30 Toyotas from his list were involved in the scheme, and it was estimated he profited over $2.5 million from just this one scheme. The financial loss is on the innocent buyer because they financed the purchase before it was recovered and stole it. In the interim, the victim was actually making payments on a stolen vehicle with the finance company. The finance company was financing a stolen vehicle, and the insurance company was insuring a stolen vehicle. Then the victim now had to go out and purchase another vehicle. So at this, all this for one vehicle is a huge financial loss to just the one vehicle. So you can imagine how many victims are out there involving suspects like this. And this was just one suspect. Imagine how many more are out there. Next slide. The consequences here are not different from what we saw with identity documents. If a fraudulent identity is accepted, it enables access, transactions, and grows across systems. The same applies to vehicles. The difference is not the type of risk, but how wide the risk can spread once the identity is inputted across multiple systems. And just as the personal documents, the earlier the structural inconsistency is detected, the more contained the impact remains. Next slide. In personal ID fraud, we deal with a person and a document. In a vehicle-related fraud, we deal with a physical object that has its own identity. That identity is reflected across multiple documents and systems, and that's where complexity begins. Next slide. Here we talk about a vehicle document. The situation becomes more complicated than with a standard ID. A driver's license usually confirms identity in a specific interaction. Opening an account, crossing a border, and passing a check. A vehicle registration document does more than confirm identity. It triggers updates in multiple systems. If a forged registration certificate is accepted, that vehicle may be re-registered, insured, exported, or sold. The ownership history gets updated and the databases are modified. Other agencies rely on that record as legitimate. Once those updates happen, it becomes a trusted data across different registries. That's why in vehicle cases, a inconsistency doesn't stay local. In personal ID fraud, we deal with a person and a document. In a vehicle-related fraud, we deal with a physical object that had its own identity. That identity is reflected across multiple documents and systems, and that's where it becomes complex, leading to vehicle cloning of multiple vehicles in different locations. So you can imagine the vehicle VIN is similar to an individual's social security number, only one unique identifier number per vehicle, as well as an individual. So in an example here, a Miami-Dade investigator requested
Yes, Wendell, could you share with us this case about the vehicle, the stolen Chevy, which was also you found in three countries were connected to each other. You told me this case just a week before. It's very interesting to my mind to share this information with our colleagues.
Sure. So here in Honolulu, a Miami-Dade investigator requested assistance to locate a stolen Chevy pickup truck that was stolen from a used car dealership in Miami, Florida, and that may be a cloned vehicle or involved in a cloned vehicle investigation that they were following up on. The other truck was recovered in Germany. The truck was located here. The truck was verified by cross-referencing an engine part to the VIN. The frame serial number under the truck was visibly re-stamped. The vehicle was recovered, and the innocent victim here was very upset, understandably, because he spent thousands of dollars on the purchase of this. He was referred to civil court to seek restitution. So again, a great financial burden and inconvenience to an innocent buyer. But you can see how vehicles and documents that aren't investigated properly slip through the cracks and get re-registered elsewhere. Next slide. When each element of the process is examined separately, nothing appears suspicious. The difficulty arises because the investigators are often performed at different stages of the workflow. The physical inspection, the data validation may all occur, but they are not always designed to be deliberately compared as parts of the same. In other words, the physical vehicle and the data records may both pass their respective checks, but their relationship may not have been examined so that cross-layer comparison doesn't occur. A false identity can enter the system without triggering an alert. Over time, that identity becomes embedded in legitimate records and transactions, which makes later correction and identification more complex.
Well, let's make some comments about our device, about the VIN numbers, yeah?
So this is a portable magneto-optical device by Regula. This is used to examine metal surfaces for ground-off serial numbers or imperfections in the metal, such as defaced VINs. This takes a few minutes to set up and complete. It's safer than non-toxic. It's safer and non-toxic than using the acid restoration method. The device penetrates the metal surface where you can see the original serial number and what the suspect did to alter the serial number and the imperfections. This also isn't limited to vehicles. It can also be applied to identify serial numbers on firearms as well. It saves time on investigation. Next slide. In many cases, or in many operational environments, the basic workflow is focused on format and local database checks. Cross-border history is not always readily available as a real-time query, and not all registries automatically share foreign records. Checking ownership, transfer sequences across jurisdictions, or export paperwork typically requires additional stages outside the initial validation workflow. That's why these checks are often absent at the point of initial acceptance. Next slide.
Yes, thank you, Wendell, very much for your comments about the VIN numbers and about the verification of the vehicle certificates and driving licenses. But we need to go to we need to finalize our just now the presentation, and I want to stress your attention to the main idea of our webinar, of our information, that we need to check not only security elements one by one separately, we need to check all the elements in complexity. We need to find the to recognize the behavior of security elements, and we need to check layer by layer, not passing or not skipping some layers, because it's very crucial to use the right methodology. We need to find the right way how to check the different objects and to verify their identity. That's why we need to be equipped by the devices, and we need to be equipped by the knowledge. And very often we need to have like assistance, some databases with the description of the VIN numbers, with the description of security elements which were applied to this exact document: passport, ID card, visa, or driving license, or vehicle certificates. That's why we need to examine in consequence, not only the current status and current just now security element. Just we need to also to finalize our webinar and to say you that we are not we didn't try to be like a serious to provide a theoretical part of this webinar, but we gave this information according to our more than 30 years experience in the field of document examination, in the field of the security elements verification. We just now say that we have the biggest database of templates of the document in the world. Just now it consists of more than 16,000 different documents from more than 250 countries, territories, and organizations. And all this software and hardware is developed in-house. We have also long-term cooperation with international organizations like Interpol, Europol, and other law enforcement agencies in the territories and countries. And also, we just now very proud that more than 80 borders, 80 immigration services in the world who are on the front edge of the fight against criminals. They are who provides the national security in the states. They trust us. More than 80 borders, all 80 immigration services just now believe in our equipment, believe in our software, believe in our decisions. In addition, maybe Wendell also will try to answer the questions to our attendees and our colleagues. But I need to also to add some words about the very important part of our workflow. We provide also trainings for professionals and for beginners how to use the equipment, and also we do this training program with different categories of border control officers, with bank officers, with the different personnel who are in charge of verification of the documents and who are in charge of providing security. Thank you very much for your attention. Maybe you have some questions. You have a chance to text these questions during the webinar, or you can do it just now. We will try with Wendell to answer your questions, but if you will have some limit of time, or we will not be able to answer your, like to give you a full answer to save time, in this case, all these answers we will prepare and send you by email, as well as the record of this webinar. And let's go to the table of questions and answers. Wendell, would you see?
Yeah. So the first question
maybe,
is,
yeah.
Do you think fully automated document verifications can replace forensic experts at the end? I don't think so, because you still need the human eyes and the mentality to visualize what the document is. I don't think machines can replicate what you know as an individual. So we still need experts. We cannot depend on machines.
Yes, sure. To my mind also, I quite agree with you that the devices could not replace the forensic examiners and humans, because of course the machines on this stage just now of the artificial intelligence could assist us a lot, but they will not make a final decision, especially in these crucial areas like national security. In this case, only humans could verify and could evaluate every layer of security elements which was checked in the document and to find these discrepancies, because every time the criminals, they develop new methods and new types of forgeries. That's why only human just now brain could cope with this issue and to solve the problem and to be more fast and more accurate, and machines will only assist us to provide our job like a forensic examiners. The second question, the second question is about the you mentioned different examination techniques today. Do you mainly focus on forensic equipment, or do you also develop software as well? Wendell, can I try to answer this question, because it was a question to Regula? Yes, thank you very much for the question. And yes, we produce all types of forensic examination devices for document verification. We, as I mentioned in our presentation, that we produce the simple magnifiers and also standalone devices for the document verification, like with the set of different forensic light sources with small magnification. But also we produce the huge machines for the video spectral comparators and video spectral microscopes with a lot of security ability to check all security elements which are just now applied to the security documents. So we don't, our video spectral comparators could review and could confirm that this security element is original or fake. And these devices have a lot of light sources, more than sometimes 40 different light sources from different directions and different magnifications and different filters. That's why we will provide not equipment for the whole inspection of the document, plus software, of course, because just now software is very also important part of our production portfolio. And we do this software for mobile devices, for the web applications. And this software just now we are using a lot of neural networks and artificial intelligence to provide some special algorithms which allow you to check the liveness. And of course, we've deeply focused on the biometric identification. And this theme of biometric will be the next theme of our webinars, is the second one in the next month. So if you will need to clarify this issue, you are welcome to the next webinar. Yep, thank you. The next question about, you mentioned that Regula also provides professional trainings. Could you briefly explain what kind of training you offer and who it's designed for? Wendell, could you start and I will add? Maybe you will mention about IAATI conference. It will be nice.
Sure. So Regula provides training and information to beginning investigators as well as advanced investigators. So they bring their knowledge and expertise to all levels of investigators. In fact, this coming August 30th through September 4th, the International Association of Auto Theft Investigators will hold its 74th Vehicle Crimes Conference in San Antonio, Texas. And Regula, as well as Andrei, will be there for a live training session, hands-on with their equipment. They'll bring a couple of different equipments for verification to highlight what we've talked about on this webinar today. 3 years ago, Andrei came to Hawaii, and he had a large class on forensic investigations, as well as in Orlando, Florida, the following year. So they're very knowledgeable on this training, because this is where a lot of us investigators fall on the lack of training. So we need to, keep abreast of training, because crimes evolve daily, and we're always behind the scene. Because criminals don't take the day off like we do. Go ahead,
Thank you,
Go ahead,
Wendell.
Andrew.
Yeah, and you need to mention also that we provide this training on the beach.
There you go.
Yeah. And what's the next question about? Do we have time? Oh, we have 2 minutes more. And just now, I think it will be the last question. Not last question, last question which we will try to answer in 1.5 minutes. Why is vehicle document fraud often harder to detect than identity document fraud? It's a very nice question, because it's like a everyday struggle and everyday issue between what's more harder to detect. As for me, to my mind, to detect the identity document is sometimes more harder than the vehicle document fraud, because it's only according to my opinion, because I handle a lot or used to check the document, mostly ID documents. That's why I think that, as I told, the criminals invest sometimes a lot in this type of document, because these documents, ID documents, I mean, they provide a lot of additional advantages to the criminals who passed through the verification process. You can go with the fake ID you can cross the border, first of all, you can enter the country, you can enter some special territories using the fraud or altered the ID document. Also, you can go to the bank to get the credit sometimes to earn money, and you could. It's a lot of troubles could be caused by the ID documents. That's why criminals sometimes they need to cover their identity. In this case, they pay a lot of money to get this nice quality counterfeit documents. That's why they invest a lot and they got a nice quality false document. In this case, I think this is sometimes harder to detect this document. But from the other side, as Wendell, the moment you will add your opinion, sometimes the driving licenses is also very hard to detect and to understand where is false and where is original.
And it's a very lucrative crime. It's easy for the criminal elements. By the time law enforcement finds out who they are or where they're operating, they're gone. They don't stay in one location too often. It makes it harder for law enforcement to detect. And as far as the paperwork goes, with technology, printers have gotten a lot better. So the color coding on the documents makes it harder for investigators to detect whether it's fraud or counterfeit, because going back to the lack of training, you just visualizing what it looks like in front of you, not knowing what the security features are on, because every state, county, country has their different security features. So you don't look at the barcode, the watermark, or hologram. You're unaware of what the next state or county or country has. So it makes it harder to detect. You're just going for face value on the visual paper that you have in front of you.
Yeah, sure. I quite agree also with you. So unfortunately, just now our time is out. Just now we are behind our schedule. Let's finalize the webinar. I need to say everybody who attended our webinar, thank you a lot for your time. Thank you a lot for your attention, for your time, and we wish you a great success in the fight with the criminals. And I hope this webinar was also helpful for you and fruitful. Maybe you you will be able to pick up some new knowledge from this webinar. And I hope to see you next time and wish you the nice evening or morning or daytime up to the time zone. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Appreciate it.
Sure. Appreciate your attention. Thank you. Carmen, thank you for introduction and for joining us during this webinar.
It's a great presentation. Wendell, enjoy the beach. And Andrei, I'm told Wendell said that you're really good at sand beach volleyball. So maybe you guys can give us a demo in San Antonio.
Yeah.
Okay, take care.